You ready for another question?
I'm ready.
All right. Some people experience Kundalini and are awakening and are thrown into infinite bliss. And other people experience Kundalini awakening and they're thrown into infinite pain.
Right.
And how do you respond to the people who are in deep pain? What can you say? I mean, what do you offer to them? And what is your own feeling about why that happens? Why some people get the bliss and other people don't? They get the opposite. And I'm sure you've encountered this in people that you've dealt with.
Most people just get the bliss around me, believe it or not.
Most people get the bliss?
Most people just get the bliss, with a few exceptions here and there. With the exception of the kind of baggage they bring in that might need to be scrutinized by the immense power of consciousness. When you're talking about Kundalini, you're talking about the immense power of the universe. So you cannot casually walk into that and expect to be stable.
Well, I don't know that they're necessarily casually walking in. It's spontaneous awakening that they didn't necessarily foresee. Or
that could be a definition of casualness in the sense that not a lot of meditation may have happened before then. There was no transition period available with which to acclimate the nervous system with its impact against that immense energy. So theoretically, people can go haywire.
Well, okay.
Not just theoretically, but actually.
But some people get the bliss without the preparation of meditation or anything, or yoga or anything.
Not that they can remember.
You mean not in this lifetime?
Exactly.
Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Are you suggesting then that some people come in with a nervous system or whatever, spiritual nature, that's more prepared to receive this?
Yes.
Well, that does seem to answer a lot of questions.
Yes, it does.
I mean, it does.
It does in a very general and flippant way, but sometimes you can only refer to those sorts of answers to at least begin to deal with this topic, because it's an infinitely deep topic in itself. I don't want to pretend that I can satisfy you with quick and brief answers, although we can begin that way.
Yes. Well, it is a question that comes up again and again.
When people write to me on the internet, and several have, asking about what to do, I say, come to see me if you can. Just get into communion with me, spiritual communion, so that I can open up more avenues for that current to flow in, and at a greater rate, so we culminate this thing and get it over with.
And does that work?
You don't want to stay if you catch on fire, right, you don't want to just walk for a few blocks before you put it out. You'd rather just either incinerate or put it out quickly. It's best that they simply bring the process to fulfillment, of course with proper spiritual guidance. Things like eating right food should be stressed. Eating good, wholesome, nutritious sattvic food, staying away from adrenaline-peaking substances like sugar and a lot of caffeine. Also engaging in nutritional supplementation, taking those sorts of supplements that can ease and comfort the nervous system. Bring nutrition to it, a lot of nutrition, a lot of soothing qualities, even using things like amino acids and regular vitamins, minerals, herbs, all the things that are available. I always tell people, avail yourself to what is available and begin searching. Your body will help you find what you need. You can't just rely on consciousness to do the whole thing, because there's a real human body that may have to show up to work the next day. You have to pacify that thing. You have to make it happy on its own level as well. At the same time, the most important thing is to come in contact with a fully self-realized master.
But there are very few of those available. And,
that's true.
And certainly,
very few.
And certainly 30 years ago, they were very scarce in certain parts of the country particularly. I mean, that's always the advice that's given, but they simply, at one time, were not there.
That's correct.
They were not there.
And not many have full realization of the Atman, as well as full activation of the Kundalini-Shakti simultaneously. along with intact devotional love. That is, the kind of love that serves and feels each other. That's what I was referring to with this gentleman, that love which is open-hearted in nature.
But many people are just on their own, it seems.
It's very sad.
On their own.
It's very sad that that is the case, but it's always been that way. That you could conceivably engage a very lonely and disparaging process of awakening. It can be very, very awkward. Also, you have to look at the samskaras, the spiritual samskaras within that person. How do you look into that? Well, they have to simply begin to get to know themselves and find out why this period of awakening is becoming so difficult. It's going to take a tremendous amount of human effort too, to get by and then to let this thing expand. And also the heart must come into it. The mind must come into it. You don't want to be fully active in Kundalini and be, unable to use your rationality, for example, or just at the whim of pure energy. It would display maddening qualities, things that would frighten people. So all these things come into play. It's a huge topic, a wonderful topic. And I think I think Kundalini-Shakti is part of full realization. I don't consider somebody truly realized who does not understand what that is.
Well, I agree. I agree.
So we have a lot of enemies.
I agree.
The men are out there still trying to take control, trying to make the basis of in existence, that which is truly real, merely transcendental. Merely and only that. It's very safe.
Very safe. Well, and also, I'll just say this and then say no more, but I think that many teachers prefer just to ignore the topic entirely.
Absolutely.
And if they do allude to it, they say, well, a little something or other might happen sometime, but it'll pass very quickly.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
You know, they've spent so much time getting this little realization. You bring in something that is foreign to them, they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to go through that again. Because now they're going to have to surrender in terms of energy the way they surrendered in terms of meditation. Who's up for that? I am. I'm up for it.
Well, some of us didn't have much choice.
There should be no choice, ultimately.
Thank you.